I'm Ray John Mitchell, your host and owner of the EduNation channel, and yeah, again with another video. Now, as anyone who's either a subscriber just comes peering at the channel, or just because has noticed over the last month or so, I've been a lot less frequent and consistent with my videos and the content I've been producing across all streams of media, not just with this channel, but with my Instagram, my Facebook, Twitter, the blog itself. I mean, my first real post really came back out after a month hiatus, and let me explain that very quickly. I've made posts on social media as well as on IGTV as well about the fact that I took a month-long hiatus just to give myself some rest and relaxation. I made a post about this on YouTube about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I wanted to reiterate the fact that I'd done so just to get myself back in the groove of being able to jump back into the things that I enjoyed doing, so that I avoid burning out, because I love doing this type of stuff. I love talking about the things I'm passionate about. I love providing value to other people that may be passionate or interested in this type of things, and helping people find their interest in these things and how they can play a role in it. And the only way that I can actually help out providing value is by making sure that I'm fully, or for the most part, fully rested. I've got all my P's and Q's together, my T's crossed, and my I's dotted, my J's dotted as well. And that all those knots and ends, for the most part, are kept together and are handled. And by me jumping back into the groove of things, jet lagged, not really fully sure of what I just experienced in terms of, for example, a 5-week excursion to another country, 13 hours ahead of us in terms of just time zone. Me not taking time to rest up would just cause my content to just decline and decrease in terms of quality. And I don't want to do that for anybody. It'd be bad for me as someone that's trying to provide value to other people, and be bad for anyone else that's trying to invest time into looking at my content. And I don't want to do that to anyone that's investing in me. And it's not fair for anybody. Thus, I'm going to make sure that I'm more responsible and consistent with my consistency in terms of providing content, producing them, and making them available to the public. So, I've devised a little schedule that I'm going to be keeping myself to in terms of the production of content, not only for this channel, but all the streams of media that I have out for this blogging community. On Mondays, for instance, on Mondays at 4:30 p.m., a new blog post will be made public for everybody in the community to see. I will publish it on the blog website, as well as share it on all streams of social media that I am on. Next, for Tuesdays, I will be holding a podcast on the app Anchor, the app and website Anchor, that will be uploaded at 3 p.m., and it will be discussing any type of education-related topics that come to mind. Usually it might have something to do with something that I've already discussed, or something that will be coming up in the near future. It'll depend on what spurs to mind at the moment. On Wednesdays, it will be your regular expected content in terms of YouTube videos, and it will correspond to the Monday blog post. You can expect that to be uploaded to the YouTube space at 3 p.m. On Thursdays, a new blog post, the second blog post for the week, that will be uploaded and shared and made viewable for everybody that is a part of the community at 4:30 p.m., same as Mondays. And then on Fridays, I'll be doing video blog episodes for IGTV, Instagram TV. Those will be made available by 3 p.m. as well. And those will consist of things basically to a similar extent as the Anchor podcast, with the only difference being that they're just more so, more in your face type things, such as these YouTube videos, with the exception that they're shorter content. They're a little bit cut up. So, for example, my first 2 videos were 30 minutes long. You won't have to worry about sitting down for a full 30 minutes of listening to me just rant. Rather, you'll get that break time, that intermission between episodes, it comes to me just speaking for 30 minutes. You'll have 3 segments of 10 minutes each, because that's the time limit that they give us on Instagram TV. With that being said, I will be sure to remain more mindful of the time and not go on, because if I'm talking about something that's I've already made a post about, what's the point of making myself redundant and taking time away from the rest of you? You all could be doing something else, such as reading my blog posts. On Saturdays, like this right now, you'll be getting the second YouTube video for the week, and it will correspond to the content discussed in the second blog post that's posted on Thursdays. This YouTube video will come at 5 p.m., and the only reason why there's a difference in times posted between the Wednesday YouTube video and the Saturday YouTube video is just because on Saturdays, that's when my younger siblings are around, that's when my family is around, and I want to help my parents out with being able to just watch the little ones around, because there's a big age difference between I and my little siblings. One of them is 6, the other one's 3, and the youngest is 8 months old. So I'm an extra hand in the house, and I'm going to make sure that I provide as much help as I can in terms of making things easier for my mom and dad. Fair and simple. And last but not least, Sundays. Here's an interesting concept that I'm willing to try. For Sundays, I'd like to do this thing called Open Mic Sunday Night, where it's going to be both dedicated to podcasts for Anchor, as well as videos for IGTV, Instagram TV. Those will be uploaded to both mediums by 9:45 p.m. and shared across all the other social media so that people are able to access these things. Now, these things are going to be open style rants. Either A, it will be just something that comes spur of the mind in terms of what I'm thinking about at the moment, or B, it will be open to suggestions that you all in the community, you all in the comments, you all in the things that you DM me in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, emailing me, any of those things. I will take any type of submissions and suggestions for topics to discuss in terms of rants, because I want to be able to have a discussion with you all and spur thoughts. That's my intention of starting this channel and starting this vlog. So this first podcast series that I'm going to be doing on Anchor and IGTV will be tomorrow evening, 9:45 p.m. And if you are interested in hearing me discuss something that you're interested in hearing my take on, either share your thoughts in the comments below, or go to any of my social media outlets and send those suggestions via direct messaging, or just email me at edunation0816@gmail.com. I will get back to you, and if I don't end up talking about your topic, that's most likely because I do things on a first come first serve, but it's not because I'm ignoring. I will get to everyone's suggestions as they go. I will not stop. I ensure to you that I'm not ignoring anyone's ideas. I want to hear from everybody. Now then, to address what the content is in terms of the title of the video, as you may have noticed, you see a part 1, Post-World War II United States Education Reform Efforts. Now then, you're probably wondering, if for anyone that's been following the blog posts, I've already made 2 blog posts about this. One posted on June 4th, and then one posted this past Thursday on July 5th. Now you may be wondering to yourself, well, for any of you that are new, well, why do we need an entire series dedicated to this? Well, first things first, and you've probably heard this phrase a lot, so bear with me if I sound cliche. History repeats itself. However, history repeats itself unless we learn from it. So, my point in doing this series of looking back at education reform efforts and things that have been implemented into our education system is to be able to pinpoint the root causes of the flaws that we have in our current education system from that point, from those inflection points in time. And I choose post-World War II, post-1945, for the simple reason that a lot of the things in our current system have originated from that time. For example, the AP program originated back in the 1950s. Affirmative action, 60s and 70s. Busing, although it doesn't happen as large scale as it did back in the 70s, that originated back during the post-war period. A lot of people that are parents of people of my generation, they're pretty familiar with the busing situation that went on 40 years ago. Standardized testing, at the extent that it is in the current day, that originated back in the 80s and the 90s. It goes 2000 under the Clinton administration and his subsequent predecessors, such as subsequent predecessors. Those are wow. That's a contradiction in the contradictory statement of itself. But I digress. Yeah, his predecessors, Bush Sr. and Mr. Reagan, both of those two had also initiated those ideals, but in the post-war era. The phrase that a lot of people that are either parents of my generation or people of my generation know very fondly, the No Child Left Behind Act of '02 under the Bush Jr. administration. All these things put in place under that system ever since 1945, and those reflect the values that our society have had ever since 1945. And as I reiterate, for us to be able to pinpoint the problems that our system has, we have to look back to those inflection points in time to see what the policy maneuvers and social movements were that try to solve and address certain issues that existed in the past, how successful they were in that time period, and whether or not they were successful in the long run, 7, 50, 60, or even 30 years down the line to this current day, and whether or not they brought up more issues or even elevated certain issues. So there's my point for making these series, and besides that, I'm pretty sure that, and I think that everyone else watching this video will agree with me, that if I were to just make giant 30 to 45-minute videos explaining certain topics of certain decades, that no one would be able to get the big picture. So what I plan on doing in the future, over these next couple of weeks, couple of months, depending, it'll most likely a couple of months because there's a lot to cover between 1945 and 2018, I will be creating videos that are very detailed and specific about certain topics, so that everyone can get those pictures, get those little pixels, and be able to connect them to that big picture. I will make sure that I make it simple, not necessarily simple, but connected enough and relevant enough for people to understand how these fit together into this big puzzle that is the flaws and possible solutions to the issues that we currently exist in our education system. Because the purpose is to find that root cause. And no matter where you are in terms of your walk of life at the current moment, we all want to address these issues and find the root causes so that we can curb them and make sure that future generations, such as my younger siblings and subsequent generations, proper use of subsequent this time, have no need to worry about the issues that had existed 30 years before them, as several generations have had to already. Now then, as I had mentioned, I'm going to keep myself consistent and be a lot more dogged and strict with being accountable in terms of, sorry for hitting the microphone, but nonetheless, remaining consistent and accountable about my upload schedule. So like I said, the next video will be coming up Wednesday, 3 p.m. It will be discussing the rise of the AP program and the GI Bill. And if anyone has any suggestions, comments, or if this topic/series intrigues you in any way, let me know. Reach out to me via any of the social media outlets that I put down in the description, in the comments, and I am excited to hear from everybody. As always, this is Rajon Mitchell of EduNation, and wish you all a wonderful weekend.